Take 404. I don't know how long I can keep up with trying to do this, but anywho, Munchkin adversary here. Yeah. Um, pff, this is a recap of the other video I did, and I added some things because it's still happening. This situation between KickVic and I Stand with Vic. Yeah, I want to talk about some extra stuff. You know, be a little more clear on what I think and what I know because this war is never ending. I seen more stuff going on Twitter, and it's like, what's going on? Like, what's happening with us? Why are we fighting each other constantly over this? Really? This is why I don't really get into debates about Vic. I don't really do that. I don't go around picking fights either. I mean, people attack me, and then I will stand my ground, and then I will tell them you're just making yourself look like an a hole. Because the more you bring it up to folks, say he's a sex offender, and call someone out for the wrong reasons, and nitpick on them for things that are unrelated to this, all because they support Vic, but they're not fighting you about it or fighting you over him. You are literally you're pathetic. You don't want peace. We need peace. We need peace right now because the pandemic is still a thing. We got other problems. Remember Ukraine and Russia? Yeah, we've had so many things happening to the point that we need to just leave stuff alone or just solve it legitimately because it's killing us. You have no idea how pointless it is to keep harping over this guy when he hasn't been proven guilty unless you want to prove he's guilty. You just want to brainwash people into think he's guilty just by being the ultimate cosplayer and this beast right here who's not really much of a beast. I'm actually talking about losers and reports here from Twitter because contrary to whoever they might be, they might be victims of their own. Sick and tired of folks picking on them. What they're doing on Twitter, it's not okay. It doesn't mean I don't give a darn about them. I care about them, but what they're doing is also not good. Cause I'll just, whatever I gotta say about them, I'll save. Like, when are we gonna be done with this? Because this, first of all, was just slapped on over the original image. I meant to say that in the original one. So why? Why is this okay? If we could just move on, because people are like, "Oh, just ignore it and move on." Everybody knows not real. No, no, not everybody. But even people thought this is real. You cannot always ignore bullying. You can't. People will breach. They will break your door down. You still hit the ignore button. They're just going to break the ignore button and get you. A lot of people have suffered from folks who tailed them. Those who were just ignoring and just kept walking, looking away until they got attacked. That's also what causes, victims to get traumatized and stuff. Because, first of all, I'm a victim. I've been abused. I'm still going to therapy for it. I've grown up being abused, verbally, mostly. I've been physically abused. I've been sexually abused. You wouldn't believe me at hindsight, depending on what type of impression you get from me. I don't know. I don't expect you to believe me at first glance, even when I tell you I'm a victim, because you don't know my story yet. I'm not gonna rat on you or ruin your life all because you don't believe all victims yet or whatever. I mean, that's been misused, literally. Technically, my friend is a victim because people took advantage of him and made him believe otherwise until another buddy of his, proved him that this is a Photoshop. This whole thing was never okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're like, okay, you showed us this already, why are you showing us again? It's because I'm going in depth. It's not okay for somebody who has Asperger's or is on the spectrum of some sort or has any disability to be forced into this because he was part of KickVic. He still saw things from a gray-minded point of view, but still, his reaction, yeah. And my reaction, I want to talk about my reaction. I felt like I was in a nightmare because this situation is never ending and then it's spreading all over the place. Like, what the hell, man? Like, why? Is it that important to keep calling somebody a sex offender and not have them arrested? You see how much damage it's doing. Yet we're still stuck here. But again, there's other things I wanted to say. And one of those things is if you feel the way you do about Vic, you feel he is absolutely a threat, do not let this stuff keep happening. Don't. Don't let it keep going on. It's not good. If you're against Vic, at least like what my friend told me about I Stand With Vic Losers, do what she did if this is what she ever did. Because I don't see her doing this, at least not anymore. I don't ever recall her doing this where she convinced people not to do it. I didn't always see her, so if she did do this, I wish she didn't stop because it's a full on assault from one group to another. Not always, but most of Kick Vic and some of I Stand With Vic. It's never going to end, especially when you got people from either side trying to convince their own friends to stop attacking each other and they don't listen. Whatever it is, somebody knows the truth out of the ones who actually say otherwise and is too afraid to bring it up because of how far one group went. And I'm talking about the group they came from. Somebody knows the truth there. Hating on Vic is not going to save us all. Hating on each other is not going to save us all. Like, you're so like dead set on preventing people from bullying. And you do that yourself. Like, why? This is, like I said in the other video, this is contrary to what I was told by her former comrade. But you got this. She still got this on her profile. Why? If you're a gimmick account, you don't need this. If you are an anti-bullying account, you don't need this, period. You're causing the bullying. Yes, there's some things I agree with you upon. Yes, I've seen you in reports bullied before, like I said in the other video, but this is still wrong. Just because you do things right doesn't mean you always do things right. Just as someone who does things wrong is not always doing things wrong. And this tweet, like I said before, it's not necessary. You're gloating. You're literally gloating. We're stuck in a situation right here. A lot of us are. We didn't ask to be in, all because you want to rack up on followers. Like I said in the other video, this is the original. And that image or whatever you saw on the right side, the right border or whatever, it covered this feed right here. Why go through great lengths to prove that someone is guilty by actually hurting other people, by actually using them as bait, by actually you know, it's stupid. Manipulating them. Like you, Monica, Jamie, reports, other people. You manipulated folks. You almost manipulated me. That's not good. I mean, and you're having this account still. As I said in the other video, if you truly care, you don't need to do this stuff. You don't. My thing is temporary Twitter home, as my other account was censored by ISWV. You know, the supposed free speech people. Okay, freedom of speech you can abuse wrongfully, like literally. There's a such thing as abusing it, like what you're doing now and stuff. But my thing is, if you're still on Twitter and you're not getting banned, why are you afraid of getting banned to the point that you have this account here still? If you're doing the right thing, if Twitter's on your side, why do you have this account here still? That's the thing. You know Twitter has its own corruption. I'm not saying everybody on Twitter is bad. I'm just saying Twitter itself ain't right. Ain't doing well. In a lot of cases, it's not. People are divided. So you are afraid of something. And this is why you got, your friend here who keeps using the same image. And I already said that before. But this is it right here. Like, apparently, this guy has beef with an I stand with Vic. Well, no, it's actually a neutral. He has beef with a neutral to the point that anything that has nothing to do with Vic, especially, he'll basically share tweets about him, like really his own news channel. I'll get to him, but this is the thing. He wants to ban people like that. He has a right to get folks like this banned. This is an I Stand with Vic member who's been abusing their own stay on Twitter since day one, probably. Keep calling out people wrongfully and harassing them and trying to like win Vic's honor. I don't know why. Like, I've talked to him. Plenty of us talked to him. We told him to stop. We tried convincing him. This guy, I reasoned with him. He gave me a like or whatever on a different site. Didn't say anything bad to me, I guess. And he went back to doing this. This can put people in danger when you literally start fights with folks and you don't stop. You're relentless. You keep going and you get other people dragged in, especially because you tag them, like what losers and reports are doing. I'm not joking about that. This is another person I talked to who's been really trying to get them to stop. And as I said in the other video, trying to win his heart and stuff, this is completely inappropriate and creepy. It really is. It's the same guy I was just talking about, as I said in the other video. This is also creepy and a gaslight and all kinds of crap. I mean, if this is tagging somebody out in the public, why do you need to do that? Okay, on to what I want to say. So if I was in the KV, if I was on the KV side, and I was just so sure that he had every right to do what he did, I would just go and say, well, first of all, we're on Twitter. Twitter has it so that people can see your posts. They can see what you're typing or whatever. They can see how you feel because you post it on your Twitter. So by that logic, the person that these two are dunking on should not have posted what they posted. Bingo. Like, yeah, go figure. So whatever they're posting here, they have a right to say what they're saying because they asked for it. Well, first of all, regardless, why do you need to tag? Well, as I said before, people can see it anyway. What's the matter? It's not like they're doxing them or anything. They asked for it. That's their responsibility. They should not have posted what they posted. Therefore, what he did here, he's just basically showing how another person is abusing their rights on Twitter. My thing is, Twitter also has a report button. Report whoever you feel is actually abusing their rights and hurting other people. And don't just think it. You have to actually be convinced. There's a difference. Don't just willfully say, "Oh, they're doing it." I think it. Therefore, as actually no. You can't just dictate something's actually happening. You actually have to be convinced. And what these two are doing right here are attacking him. If they're attacking each other, more than likely they started it. And you're talking about Vic and Chuck. Let's go back to this. So, whatever here has been said, if any of it is triggering, any of it, why do this? Why? Why slander two voice actors? I'm going to play on the other side again. Well, first of all, Vic, Miana, and Chuck, not really the best of human beings you meet in life because, yeah, because of hearsay, because of what someone said about them. No, well, my thing is, Vic Miana is a sex offender. He has not been registered as one. Well, people say he is. It's enough to believe it. It's enough to believe it. If it's enough to believe it, why is he still roaming around? Are we not in danger? Well, you gotta just respect what people think because these two are known to be bad. They're known to be wild, and they're making a point, and you just gotta deal with it. You just gotta let people say what they say because this is freedom of speech. Is it wrong for me to think that Vic is a sex offender? Is it wrong for me to call out Chuck whenever I feel like it? Because if you don't agree with me, then fine. I respect that. I respect your opinion, so respect mine. Problem is, a lot of caviers or cave, yeah, do not respect the opinions of non-stands or I stand with Vickers. They don't. That's ass backwards. Coming from KV. We keep going into the scuffle because somebody wants Vic gone. And it's not really so much of that. I have a theory. I really do. But don't you ever slander somebody like this again. You put targets on so many people, including me, yourselves, this person you keep messing with, and each other. Many of you caviers did that. And some of you ISWVers, you did it as well. This guy especially. No. I've been over that. So, I never really discussed it, but I have seen videos on Mars Girls um, talk about Vic. And take a deep breath. I was really angry and upset about a lot of things. Not because she was calling Vic a straight up an abuser and stuff. Not really simply because of that, I mean. Because it wasn't really helping us. That's why. It wasn't really helping the situation. She just kept calling him an abuser, like keeping tabs on him and stuff. And she has a life of her own. And it's like, why are you doing this to yourself? That's why I was angry and upset about Mars Girl. Because she was doing all this to herself, messing up her own reputation and stuff, when she has a lot of good potential and stuff. Really. I like things about Mars Girl. I care about her as a human being, but I I really don't like what she's done in regards to Vic. It's just one guy. So if Mars Girl is a victim of some sort, it's not Vic's fault. We could talk about this. A lot of us could talk about this and get each other out of this mess and find the truth. I mean, I'll say this: if a caviar, if Mars Girl, Jamie, Monica, maybe even Ron Toy. I mean, if he's around, if losers reports, if I knew them in person, if we hung out around each other and we still had different views, and something happened to them, I would support them. I would literally be at their side as one of their fans, like protecting them or whatever. Even as somebody that isn't really much of a fan of them, I would still help protect them. I would still try to clear their names because nobody deserves that. I'm not borderline one side. I'm not even one sided. People picking on Mars Girl and sending threats like this. I would defend her like I am now. Just because I believe Vic is innocent and that you've wronged him does not mean I don't care about you. And the same for this person. If I knew them, I would protect them. Well, this is why I have this video up here, even though at the same time I'm calling them out because what they did was malice. I mean, somebody could tell me, well, you don't know this person here. Maybe she knows them. Maybe she's trying to protect her from Vic. Look at the way she wrote this. Talking about people like this, like how losers and reports did, is not helping to save someone. Well, it helps us to know who's a problem. You call this lady right here in this video a problem. How would you know? You haven't met her. How would you know if she's a problem? You haven't met her either. Like, geez. Those are the kind of rebuttals somebody could throw at you. Like I said, I'm playing both sides. At least I'm trying to break it down. The side that you hear from me that's arguing back is actually me, obviously. And I know I've been talking about this in another video, but whatever it is you don't like about this person, you don't have to do this. Somebody tells me, well, this is her problem, this is her fight. Why are you so worried? Maybe you're creeping on her profile. My thing is, she's tagged people. She has all this stuff on her profile. The same logic you're using to defend her is the same logic you could use to defend the people she's going after. You know that, right? So what she's doing applies to everybody and vice versa. Same for, every other KVer. Same for reports. All applies to everyone, technically. Why are you making so many exceptions? But whatever it is, she could block, but she didn't. Didn't have to resort to using this. Didn't. I'll tell you something. I am I'm sorry. Just take the time to breathe. Am sick and tired of the race card and stuff being thrown around. I get it. There are racist people around. Yes, there are. Doesn't give you a right to do this. No. You could block these folks. Was this even directed at you? Even though what they did was probably not okay, doesn't mean you had to do this. It's just like how. Oh my god, I had it in my head too. It'll come back to me. It's just like how people did not have to go on the bandwagon attacking Vic and doing all kinds of crap to make profiles like these, even though this is like singling out Monica and attacking Ron. Like, no. Oh my god, man. Like, for real? Just I know people were angry. Anger is just so big in this situation. The hatred is just so real. Just know you win in more and more people to believe you. But here's the thing: you only have 4 followers. 4 followers. And you're following 7. I don't know this person or whatever this account is completely about, aside from spreading hate towards Mars Girl and Monica because of what they did to Vic, as well as probably slandering them too. I don't know. Yes, Monica has been slandered, and I'm pretty sure Mars Girl has been slandered, but they did the slandering themselves, even though they don't deserve this this malice. It's just I just I'm trying to process so much. My brain is malfunctioning because of this. So yeah, I wouldn't do this. I would not make these hate accounts and stuff and keep them up here and stuff because eventually whoever is controlling this account, whoever sees this and is actually driven by this, could come out and hurt Mars Girl or Monica Ria, just like how losers and reports accounts can motivate somebody to come out and hurt Vic. I'm not joking at all. When I said they made targets out of themselves, each other's, and us, they did. And Twitter, if Twitter is just letting them do it, then Twitter is enabling them. I'm not lying. I'm pointing it out. I know Twitter has had so much happening. Oh well, Twitter. This Twitter. Why are you on Twitter? I don't really get attacked on Twitter. I see people getting attacked on Twitter. Then why are you worried? Because I'm not the only person who exists in this world. And sooner or later, they're going to come attacking me anyway. But that's beside the point. You want me to care or you do not want me to care? Well, it's not your life. It's their life. They have lives, right? I'm trying to help people. I'm pointing out problems, including this guy. Like, he gets people involved, tags them and stuff. I think that's what drew out Mars Girl. But still, if she's talking about Vic Mignani here, this is unnecessary. This person is all chill and stuff. Didn't want to get involved in the first place. But they're being really nice about it too. Come on. I know I got real loud about this. Not completely loud to the point of like raging like Goku, but geez, this is one of the most stupid things to ever say. And it's actually what's going on practically. People are waiting for Vic to admit he's a sex offender. But are you really going to leave him alone if he were to admit it? Are you? Because, detectives exist, right? You know, law enforcement could actually search Vic's house and everything. Search warrants are a thing, and they didn't do that, did they? You know that if he were to come out in the public, as I was trying to say in the other video, people probably get triggered just by seeing him there. Publicly apologize. You're asking a sex offender to publicly apologize if they haven't been, you know, put in prison or tried or whatever. So do you believe he's innocent in some way? Like he's aware to the point that he's seeking redemption? Are you saying that he should go get help because there's still some good in him because you called him an idiot? Okay, if he's an idiot, why are you telling him to publicly? You're making yourself into an idiot. You already did by telling him he's an idiot and he should go publicly apologize. Did he not apologize for things online? Did he not apologize for things in general? And then you want to apologize for things that he more than likely didn't do. You, my friend, are basically asking him to put us in danger. You're actually putting us in danger by trying to convince somebody or state that somebody who is an alleged sex offender should come into public and admit it and apologize. Why? Why on earth would you want that? You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how to deal with this. If I said it before, I don't know how to deal. I still don't because my brain is just too messed up to even process crap. And this, now I'm going to go and say this right now. As I said, I've been abused. I have been sexually abused in kindergarten by another kid. There was a there was a girl and a boy. They're standing together and they're looking back at me. I was on a bus and I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't raised properly, basically. I didn't understand certain things that were going on, especially because when I saw the girl, it never happened to me before. My parents never told me about this type of stuff. So the girl basically opened her jacket and she began slapping me. The boy was watching. One thing I noticed in that situation was that the girl had a confused, startled, maybe looking expression on her face. And the boy just looked like he was confused, like his mind was in the clouds. I think they were victims of their own parents or livelihood, whatever. I know that they didn't get a thrill out of it, but it was still disturbing. It happened to me. I'm not lying. I don't I do not expect any of you to believe me just because I said it happened. You can connect the dots in order to believe me or whatever you need. You can gather resources in terms of like thinking about what I'm saying, but I'm not going to tell you that you are for sex offenders, that you support sex offenders just because you don't believe me. What I'm saying is I am somebody who has been sexually assaulted, have every right to cry for help, just like anyone else. So do you. I didn't tell someone right off the bat because I didn't know what kind of memory it was. I knew it happened. I remember it. I felt it. I just didn't understand what was happening at the time because I was a kid. But because I do now and came back and hit me, I understand. It was really heartbreaking. Seeing their faces like that, it's like they were crying for help. So when I see Monica and Jamie, I don't know what they've been through. But why take it out on Vic? Why not have him arrested? Why not? What's stopping you? If you couldn't do it before, what's stopping you now? You have enough people to believe you, right? Whatever you've been through, I'm sorry. I wish I could help. I don't know you. All I know is that you two, I like your characters. I like your voice acting. I've praised you before. I still look up to you. But to do this to another person I look up to, why? What is it solving when we're all fighting each other like it's some type of civil war? It's not solving anything. But I want you to be able to heal from whatever actually hurt you or whoever actually hurt you. But Vic, is he really the person who ruined you two? Is he? Why don't we just find out once and for all? Because if he's not, you do realize you victimized him by slandering him. It's the same with Mars Girl. I don't know what you've been through, or reports, or losers, but it's not solving anything if you're taking your anger out on the wrong person. Yeah, of course, this is the the original Photoshop, but I don't know, man. It's just terrible. And we got to stand together. Why can't we just stand together? This all this sucks, man. It's the original image. It's heartbreaking. So do you really feel it's okay to be weaponized by these things to attack people like this, whether they're right or wrong? We're being weaponized, and my thing is too. He just doxed somebody. He doxed this person. I know he did because I've seen these two go at it, and I seen him like bait him literally. I've seen her bait him, and it's like no matter what, like no matter if like what he's saying is inappropriate or not. And I really didn't want to go into this because it seems too much and probably is inappropriate in a way. I don't know. no matter what. You don't do this. Like I said, you can report, you can ignore, but you're called ISWV reports. So why don't you just report him? Why are you baiting him? Why are you doxing him? Why are you using his real name? This is his real name right here. You don't do that. Did he tell you his real name? Did he give you permission to post his real name? Like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Over this, especially, like, really. I mean, if he's trying to educate somebody, like a show creator, like Sam Riegel, I've heard of Sam Riegel, or a voice actor, whatever, then you you mind your own business or don't say anything. Just laugh behind a computer screen. Talk about it in DM or something. Or if you want to reason with this guy, talk about it with him in DM. Like I said, we do more harm than helping. We literally do, and that's a problem. It could happen to you too. It already has. You complained. Then you do this, and then you complain again. You too have been breaking rules. Literally over and over again. And if you don't care, why do you act like you care? If you care, why do you act like you don't care? You keep going back and forth. You do. I just I don't know what to make of it because my head nearly just broke. And I didn't expect to see this. Stuff like that is too it's too how do I put it? It's just basically it's too much for me to process. I can't really think outside the bubble as much when I see this going on from one thing to another. It's a hell of a roller coaster. That's what it is. And I don't like it. I really don't like it. So, honestly, when I see this crap, it just makes my mind melt. That's what it does. Yes, it does. But this is for anybody who is probably being triggered just from seeing this. Because I don't like to go into these type of topics. I don't, at least not out in the open and stuff, because I care about people's emotions. I do. Oh, my bad. And this, I did some research, like some small research. I don't have much to say. I would have to read more and more about it. This is not my argument. This is just me posting this there in case any of you do not understand. You think you do. I'm like, okay, this is why you shouldn't attack him. Don't attack him over it. If you know who that is, just think about this. Because whatever you find, whether it's true or not on the internet, it's brainwash people. I'm not saying this is brainwashing people. I'm saying whether you see something that is true or false, don't blame it on the person who just simply thinks it's true or false. Like, caution yourselves, educate yourselves as well. But I'm not going to jump into that fight. I never intended to. I'm not gonna here. I'm not gonna do it here. No. But I'm trying to encourage you not to fight each other. We don't need that. Like, this is what it caused. This whole thing. It caused us to fight, hate each other, and then people are being told to cope. Most of the coping is coming from KickVic. They keep coping by doing this stuff, and then you got outsiders who probably had a hell of a time fooling both sides to attack each other. And it's just, wow. Like, here's my big thing though. If a voice actor is called a sex offender, and they tell you it's okay for you to hate them, just leave them alone. They apologize for certain things. They they just want peace between the fandom and stuff, the fandoms, and you keep going on and on and on saying they're a sex offender. No trial, no evidence is being shown to law enforcement. Goes on for like over 4 years, nearing five. What do you think the problem is? Why do you think it keeps happening? Are you gonna say I stand with Vic is keeping the truth from coming out? Okay, first of all, you say he is guilty. You say Vic is guilty. All right. Okay, if you know the truth, then why don't you go share it with law enforcement? Oh, but I stand with Vic. They don't want him to be hurt. You managed to get Vic canceled at conventions. You go to conventions, you see somebody who's a sex offender, you already know there's trouble if they are a registered sex offender and have known to be a sex offender. If he's not known to be one, if he doesn't have a registration as a sex offender, and he's showing up at conventions and stuff, and he's not putting anybody in danger just by being there, then he's not a sex offender. Oh, how do you know? Because he could be doing it anywhere else. That's the thing. He could be doing it anywhere else, according to you, but you don't seem to care about that because you're not rushing to have him arrested or tried. That's the issue. There's so many contradictions on the KickVic side, more so than there are contradictions on ISWV. Think about that, please. Yeah, please think about it. You all want this to end. You know how it could end. Somebody on the other side, on KV, does not want the actual truth to come out because then they know a whole bunch of people will be mad at them. They're scared of it. I know it goes down to Monica and Jamie. They don't want to charge him, I guess. I don't know. Because there's enough that says, more than enough that says to them that, if you even tell the truth, you're screwed. If you lie too much, you're screwed. So, you're all grown ups, right? You know how to apologize, right? You know how to own up, right? I know a lot of grown ups don't do it, but they tell kids to do it. And, even someone that is like as somewhat immature as me, I know how to own up. So, immaturity is not a sin, it's not a crime, nor is, being mature when, that's practically the norm in some cases or most cases to like, take responsibility. But, mature people have messed things up a whole lot by being macho in the wrongest ways. And it's all about personality and, taking responsibility. Not about proving yourself and like setting great impressions of being some authoritative role model who's good all because they're better than everybody or superior. No, it's not about superiority. It's not. But people make it out to be that way when it comes to some folks on ISWV and a lot of folks on KV. That's terrible. This could have ended. And the reason it didn't because people are taking it way too seriously. At the same time, they're not taking it seriously enough. So, I mean, I'm mad because they had all this time to cry for help. They had more opportunities than I did, than any other victim to cry for help. And when they, I guess, did, they instead left a sex offender roaming around, based on their words. They did. Technically, Vic, according to them, is dangerous, you know, and is roaming around because they say so. I mean, that's not what they said, as in, oh, we let a sex offender loose. No, that's not what they said. They called him a sex offender. They kept trying to get people to see he's an abuser, and they kept taking his money because he kept losing appeals, and they kept saying, he lost, but they never, ever prove to law enforcement that he's a sex offender. Oh, law enforcement said he's a sex. No, they didn't. If they did, they wouldn't have him, running around. They wouldn't. They would have Vic behind bars or something. There are too many contradictions. Someone on the KV side is lying so much. They're good at covering themselves. It's not just one person. Someone on Monica and Jamie's team, especially, is lying. If not them directly. For all that to happen. And you need to tell me, or anyone, you're okay with him constantly being called an abuser with nothing being done about it. Well, things are being done about it. People are, no, it's not. Letting people know on Twitter over and over again and elsewhere, offline and stuff, and just having people hate him, it's not really helping. You're developing hatred. There's a difference between winning justice and setting hatred. They don't go together very well. You want to achieve justice, you don't develop hatred. Y'all should know better. But I guess it is what it is. Y'all want to be pathetic and keep pointing fingers and actually ruining, you know, Vic Mignogna and acting like all of ISWV is bad. You go right ahead. Not my permission. It's just me saying you do whatever because you're not going to listen. That's how low you are. That's how weak you are. And I know for a fact that I stand for weak people who actually don't stand for malice. You're the kind of weak people who stand for malice and don't give a darn. I'm out.